Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coach's Call. Thank you for being here. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing and come with me along for the sports ride that I'm on as I do these little episodes, all in fun. Look, I'd like to talk about the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers and game two. A lot of controversy for a lot of different reasons. Now, look, I missed the start of the game, at least maybe I think 10 to 12 minutes of the first period. But by the time I went upstairs to watch it with my wife, she was very animated in terms of what had happened so far in the game. And she says, "Oh, those Florida Panthers, they're playing dirty and the reffing's not fair." And I think, the Gary Bettman thing came into the conversation. And I chuckled a little bit because I know she wants the Edmonton Oilers to win. And like I've said on previous shows, when we cheer for a particular team, and she's very objective, usually she's very objective. But we tend to feel a little bit more for one side than the other. I'm sure if you're cheering for the Florida Panthers, you may look and feel justified in some of the calls or some of the penalties or the play even, right? Anyways, she says, "You got to watch this, you got to see this." And after watching the game for about, I don't know, 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, I said, what I see here is two teams playing some really fast hockey. I see the Edmonton Oilers playing an aggressive game that they don't normally play in terms of physicality, and they might be overstretching themselves a little bit in terms of that physicality, and they just don't have the depth. And it was 1-0 for Edmonton at the time. And I looked at her and I reluctantly said, the Edmonton Oilers are going to lose this game. And you could just, yeah, I looked at the shots, I looked at the way the game flow was going, and you could just see the Oilers were losing it a little bit in terms of their demeanor, right? Their on ice body language even. But look, that's not the main part of the story, whether I believe that one team was going to win or lose. But what started the conversation really was how are they performing, the physicality, the penalties, the on ice action, right? And there's really a couple of things. The first one, and I'll just show the videos are out there. You've seen the knee on knee hit. I'm not going to show the video, but I'm going to show you a picture, right? Because the picture, as you slow it down, you could see how the Oilers player extends his leg. And that's when you look at penalties and suspensions, especially knee on knee, that's one of the factors. Did the player go out of his way to make contact, right? And that's what you see here. That's why it was 5 minutes. That's why he got the gate. I will they look at it more? I don't know. I mean, the Florida player came back and all was good. Sometimes that weighs in, whether I think that's right or wrong. That's what happens. So I think that's why that call was made the way it was made. The Oilers player extended his leg, and knee on knee is just it's a dangerous play. Just like headshots that I've talked a lot about. I don't know why you do that. As a player, I know in the moment, but I think it had something to do. I started the show talking about the physicality Edmonton was trying to show. I think it had something to do with a mindset that they went in that said, we're going to play as physical, we're going to hit as hard. And when you go in with that mentality and you're not accustomed to doing it, game in, game out, you overextend yourself. And I think that that's what happened there. So I'm going to park that there. And I know there's one where, the same thing happened where you say, oh, but the Florida guy did that too. And a little bit of the same, not quite the same extension. No, and I'm not trying to show any bias one way or the other. I'm just talking about the hit itself and what that means. The other one was the elbow. And I think it was Draisaitl on Barkov. And when you look at it from behind, and my wife did too, she's like, that's not a penalty. You see a guy going in and just it looks like he's just hitting him shoulder on shoulder. But the reverse angle of it, if you watch this short clip, I'm gonna pause and watch the clip.
Barkov down on the ice. You see him grab his face.
Okay. Now, when you look at that, he gets him with the elbow right in the jaw. If you've never been hit in the jaw like that, if you've never taken a hard shot, it shifts your jaw side to side, and you feel it all the way up into the upper parts of your head. Like if you've had that play ever happen, and he's hitting him with that there's the plastic hard part of the elbow. When that's coming at you at that velocity and that speed, as soon as he went down, I said to my wife, concussion protocol, he's out. And she's like, how can that be? Like, look at the, and I'm like, I'm telling you, he's going to be gone. There's going to be concussion protocol on this. And he was, right? And so 2 minutes to me, that was look, they had to call the penalty, but it's a missed call. And I've said this, I'm consistent. Headshots don't belong in the game. Elbows to the head don't belong in the game. Okay. I love Leon Draisaitl. I have him in many different hockey pools. Okay. Love him. But that was a bad elbow to the head. That's another overextension of the Edmonton Oilers trying to play a physical game that they're not equipped to play. And when you do that, you make stupid decisions. You're going to get stupid penalties and you're going to lose the game. All right. That should have been, you're gone out of the game and they should be reviewing it. And it should probably be a suspension of some kind. I'm not going to get into the number of games because we know that it's the playoffs and it's the NHL and there's subjective rules with all of that. Okay. So Edmonton Oilers, play your game, not this game that you're unable to play in terms of physicality. And there was a lot more physicality. I mean, there was, I know I might get comments here about, well, how about, the Edmonton Oilers, they were getting choked out. The one Florida player was choking him out, and look, it's not right. It's not right that he was choking him out. Probably should have been a penalty there too. The refs may have lost control of that game or may have been over involved in that game. And what ends up happening is you've got the players trying to police themselves. I look, you refs, you're talking to me. They're consistently bad, and I've been saying that throughout the whole playoffs, maybe throughout the whole season as well. A lot of missed calls, I'll say that. The last thing I want to talk about is the puck over the boards. And we had that one play, and I'll either show a clip here or an image. I'll pause and you'll have a look at that.
Let's have a look.
Ooh, yeah. On the defensive zone side.
All right. Now you see the whole intent here, based on the rule, is where did he make contact with the puck while he was inside the blue line? Did he make contact inside the blue line and then it went up over the glass? And that's why you got the 2-minute penalty for delay of game. If he had made contact with the puck after he had crossed the blue line, then there probably wouldn't be that 2-minute delay of game penalty. And the whole idea behind this was that at some point, defensemen were throwing it over the glass to stop the play, alleviate the pressure, and somebody thought, let's penalize them. And more often than not, what we've seen since then is that it's really an accident. There's not really a lot of plays where the defenseman says, well, I want to, or the player says, I'm going to put it over the boards and take the 2-minute penalty. It's just, the pressure and they make the play and it just kind of happens. So should he have got 2 minutes for that, for delay game? Absolutely should have got 2 minutes. Missed call. But I mean, in the scope of everything that happened in the game, there was a lot of missed calls. So look, if you're an Edmonton Oiler and you're focusing on that would have changed the complexity of the game, maybe, but you had a lot of chances. And the reality is, for the Edmonton Oilers, look, you're not getting a lot of shots on net in that game too. You're really playing on the perimeter and getting your shots on Bobrovsky all on the outside along the boards. You really haven't penetrated the front of the net. When you did, you haven't capitalized. You've only managed the one goal in 2 games. Your problem, as much as the refs are a problem, you have some control in terms of how you play and how you go to the net and how you try to score goals and the system that you play. Um, to me, the coach looks a little bit disheveled, a little bit angry. It's permeating through the Edmonton Oilers team. They're playing the type of game they shouldn't be playing. They need to focus on their speed and their skill and protect Skinner at all costs, right? Stuart Skinner's not going to win you the Stanley Cup. He might lose it for you. Sorry, Stuart, but he's not going to win it for you. That's the coach's call. Thank you for joining me today. Again, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Happy to have your comments, good, bad, and ugly. I'll take them all. Take care, everybody.